Welcome to another JS Drop from This Dot. Today, Matteo Collina will demo Platformatic, a backend development platform built with Fastify and Node.js at its core. Like and subscribe for more JavaScript content. Let's get started.
Hi everyone, I'm Matteo Collina, and today I'm going to show you a project that I've been working on for a bit less than a year. So, what is it all about? Well, let's get started. First, we go into our terminal and we run a new command, npm create platformatic. Oh, that's the name of the thing that we are going to demo today, and also the name of my startup. Oh, you know, I also have a nice platformatic t-shirt. So, what kind of project we want to create? We have Platformatic DB or Platformatic service. What does Platformatic DB do? Well, it exposes a SQL database and create both OpenAPI and GraphQL endpoints for you. We'll show you how to do it, and it's actually super easy. So anyway, we start the migrations. We want to create a plugin. We go through all these features in a second. We are not using TypeScript, and I want to run npm install and install all my dependencies. It's going to take a little bit of time because it's, super fast. And then we want to run our migrations and, generate the types too. Wow. And Platformatic Cloud, what is Platformatic Cloud? We'll talk about it later in a second. So what are we going to, what's the structure of this project? So here we can see we have a bunch of stuff that was created for us. So first of all, we have our config file, which is the platformatic.db.json, which has some configuration. We have the hostname, the port, we have the logger level, and you can see these nice curly braces here. It's because we also have a .env file that you can use to configure this, and this is a git ignore by default, so you will need to set it up all the time, but this allows you to configure your platformatic project. And we have migrations, types, and so on. Migrations, yes, what we're running is we are setting up a SQL database and creating a table called movies. So let's see what this look like and run this. So let's do npx plt db start, and this will start a platformatic DB, our platformatic DB project. And as you can see, it gives us the listening. And here is our platformatic DB very tiny home page. There is some documentation for platformatic DB, but also an OpenAPI, the OpenAPI specification, and the graphical for our GraphQL. As you can see here, we have from our movies table created in our migrations. We have generated a few routes. We have get movies, post movies, put movies, and then I did the various IDs. It's pretty cool, right? So let's maybe try getting a movie. And we want to try this, and we can actually execute this, and this response is empty. Note that we get also these nice curl bits for testing this out. So it's pretty cool, right? And we can also, oh look, these are old stuff. So what we can do is, for example, use GraphQL for save a movie. And in our movies, we can just do input and specify the title, and we want Harry Potter here. And is GraphQL, so we need to specify return type, which we want the ID and the title. Nice, okay. Look how cool it is. We've just saved this, and we can even, for example, execute our query again for getting all the movies. And now we get it also from the REST endpoint. So you can use GraphQL or REST to interact with your database. And to be honest, we have not done nothing at all. We have just run some migrations, and this is our table, essentially. And by default, we are using SQLite, so we have no big dependencies to carry around. So what is so cool? Well, one of the things that you can do with this, for example, is you can use subscriptions and get about the movies that are saved. So if I run my subscription, you see this running, spinning, and then I go and save Star Wars, let's see, for example, and I can, you see this gets updated correctly, and now I also get my update live from my subscription. It's pretty cool, right? I got an update on the other window, so it's actually good for getting live notifications and stuff and that kind of stuff as well. Now, what's also possible with this? Well, look, you have seen that we can store data, map SQL tables, okay? But there was another feature that was added here. This file called plugin.js. What is it all about? Okay, this is a Fastify plugin. What is Fastify? Well, you can go to fastify.io to check it out. It's a fast and low overhead framework for Node.js, and I created this in 2016, and it's really fast, but also really great. So check it out. I kind of love it. And it's very actively maintained. We have done a lot of releases and so on. So, you know, it's a great framework. Now, here, and Platformatic is built on top of it. So if we go in here, what you could do, for example, is you could add custom routes like a slash. And if we save this, and then we head to our route, now you can see that it automatically has reloaded it and so on. As you would expect, right? Why do I spend any time setting up live reloading on my project if I can just get it out of the box? And now what we could do also, for example, is add another route, for example, something like titles. I want all the titles for my project. So what we can do, well, this is actually fake, right? This is actually a fake endpoint. And I could go here and press titles, and you see I get the right results. But what I could do instead is getting this in live. So I can do const titles and do await app.platformatic dot entities, and as you can see that we have the movies, we have the movie, and then we can get a find. No, look at this comes from TSC, and here we can just get them all, and then what we can do is so these are actually movies, and here what we could do is map the movies into with their title, and we save this, and now I can run this, and then I get Harry Potter and Star Wars. And look, typically what I would like to do here is I want to literally just do titles and do that because I probably like this API more. So, and here you can see the live update. Something that's can also be very nice something that can also be very nice in this setup is to specify a schema for the response. And as you can see, we specify 200. We want this is an object which has a properties, titles, which is an array, as you can see, which has some items, which are strings. And if I save this is just a JSON schema. Okay, it's a built-in feature of Fastify. And if I go and update my Swagger UI now, as that we have defined, you can find that we now have titles, and we have the responses, which is titles, and it's a string. Whoa, it's pretty cool, right? It all worked. We had to do literally nothing, and we got automatic documentation for our project. But what about GraphQL? Can we just add this same endpoint to GraphQL too? Yes, of course. So what you can do app GraphQL extend schema, and we will need to specify the schema that we want to add here, and we do extends type query, and we want to specify that is titles, and this is a string. And I save this. Let's see this reloaded. No, I made a typo. So here we go, extend. And oh yeah, string is capital. Hey, look, my bad. Okay, it actually restarted correctly. Cool. Now what we can do is we need to add a resolver, app define GraphQL, and here you can see that we have defined resolvers. Ooh, the resolvers, okay, and we need to specify that we want the query and we want the title, and it's the same as before. Cool, I love this. Okay, and this returns our data. And now I've saved, this has been automatically reloaded, so I can actually reload this and get titles here. And as you can see, string, I made some mistake in my code. So if I made some mistake, it's not a string, but it's an array of strings. So if I launch this again, now I can see that I have my data represented correctly. Pretty nice, right? It's a very good flow of building things out. And we have all our TypeScript auto-completion set up. So it works great for us. So what else? What else can we do? Well, there is something missing here. We haven't talked about relations. How do we do relations with this project? Well, it's actually very easy. So first of all, we need to do, let's say, create a new migration. So we do npx plt db migration create. And as you can see that we have two new migrations being created, 002 and do and undo. And if we reload here, we can get them. And then I can do create quotes table. And as you can see, this is really nice. Create table quotes. Thank you. Okay, thank you. This should be integer. Okay, not now. This is not needed. Okay, and this is essentially for our MySQLite. And then I need to add also movie ID, integer not null, and I want it to reference the my movies. Okay, and now here in the undo, I want to drop table quotes. Okay, cool. And this seems about correct. So once I'm going back, plt db migration apply, and I can also use this command to get everything correctly. Okay. So should be there the dependencies. No, they're not. So what we can do here is we can add this dependency as well, so that it's all the types are solved exactly correctly in the best way. Okay, so once we do that, where are we? We have set up our quotes, and the service actually, as you can see, reloaded correctly. So if I'm reloading this, and now I can browse this. I can see that in the query, I also have a quote. Quotes has been represented. And so let's create a quote. Okay. So in my, I go to back my graphical, and I can do save quote, and I need to specify my input, and I need the movie ID, and I need to specify the movie ID of 1 because it's Harry Potter. And then we need to specify the quote. I solemnly swear I am up to no good. And this was said by Harry Potter. Okay, and then we can get the ID, and let's say we can get the quote, for example. And I can run this, and you can see that this has been stored. Now, what's actually very interesting is that I can, for example, in my query, I can get all my movies. And then for all my movies, I can get all my quotes. And I can get my quote. And here I can get my title of my movie. And I can run this. And as you can see, I get all the nice structure and the relationship are all set down correctly when I go and query my projects. Note that all of this is being implemented using loaders, data loaders. So when you use data loaders, you can have at most D, which is the depth of your graph, SQL queries, which makes it relatively fast and not a burden to run. So it's actually great. So where are we? What are the some other cool features of Platformatic DB? Well, we have a few actually. One that's been somewhat not covered most of the time is we can actually start a dashboard. And with the dashboard, we need to also set up the metrics. Metrics automatically set up Platformatic, set up Prometheus. Another interesting feature that I would, Another interesting feature that I really like about Platformatic DB is that it has an embedded dashboard. So I could actually turn it on, and I just need to specify this. I don't want it on the root path because it's actually our because otherwise it will conflict with our hello world route. Okay, and I need also to enable the metrics, which enables automatic collection of a lot of Prometheus metrics that then can be exposed via Prometheus. So how does it work? Well, we just turn them on like that, and then we can go to platform dashboard, and as you can see here, we have quite a few data. We have some requests, response, and so on and so forth. So if we go here and, for example, do our query, as you can see now, it gets, oh yeah, it was automatically updating and live reloading. So if I keep running this a few times, then I can see that in a bit it will get up to date. So you see we got 5 requests total, and the latency it took to respond, which is pretty good. And we also have access to graphical, to the entity docs, and the admin API. And this is actually pretty cool because you can see that we have some configuration for _admin that you can do stuff with. And then we have the table view that you can use to browse a little bit your objects in your database as well. It's pretty cool, right? Okay, so what is there to? There's a lot of config options. You can go to os.platformatic.dev and go inside the reference. And as you can see here, there is a configuration file with a lot of options, and you can actually take it and so on and so forth. We have full support for authorization 2, which is it's pretty great. And but we won't cover it in this video. But you can check it out. It's actually pretty straightforward to use. And yes, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please check us out. We are Platformatic at Platformatic on Twitter. I am Matteo Collina at Matteo Collina on Twitter, and follow us and stay in touch. Thank you and bye-bye.